All right, so Bishvat was today. I want to share some Torah connected to trees. It says there's a sin that happened in the Garden of Eden that many don't know about. And it wasn't Adam or Eve's sin. It was the sin of the trees. The sin of the land, it's called. And it says in the very beginning of Breshit, it says that Hashem commanded that every tree, he commanded that etz pri oseh pri, a fruit tree will generate fruit in the Garden of Eden. That's what God wanted to happen. What ended up happening, a verse later, it says, etz oseh pri, not etz pri oseh pri. It just said, not a fruit tree made fruit, but rather a tree made fruit. And the sages explained that God's original intention was that the trees it would taste like the fruit. It would be a fruit tree that would make fruit. Like if you ate the bark of the tree, it would taste like the fruit. Maybe there wasn't bark. Maybe it was just like a big tree of fruit. I don't know. But that was the original intention. A verse later, it's as if the land sinned and it didn't do what Hashem wanted. And a tree came out creating fruit that didn't taste like the fruit, obviously. And so that was the sin of the land. And it says when Adam eventually was punished, the land was punished too due to that sin. So what's the message here about a fruit tree that tasted like fruit and ended up not tasting like fruit? So one Dvar Torah I heard a while ago is that God embedded mistakes in creation to make space for us to be making mistakes as we create things in the world. That was one explanation. But Rabbi Kook explains this sin of the land in a very interesting statement of sages that originally it was supposed to taste like fruit. He says the original intention of creation is that when we were dealing with, when we were involved in the means towards a certain end, we were working hard to get parnasa so we can support our family, or we're in school, we're studying hard on our tests to get our degree. Originally, the whole path on the way there, you would taste the fruit. Meaning the tree, which is the means towards the fruit, tasted like the fruit. You could taste all along the way. You could taste during the means. You could taste the ends. And it was easier to stay inspired throughout. However, after that sin, meaning reality is like that today, and we're hoping to bring it back to a more elevated state, is that when we're involved in all the minutia, the details, the means, towards the end, it's more like our trees today. You have the bark, you have the branches. That's not tasty. However, the fruit at the end is tasty. And so the real ideal for us that we should aspire to is try to have more experience of the taste of the fruit while you're in the means heading towards the end. And it can be difficult. I brought this as a discussion point in our staff meeting today. Like, how can we in our job, in our jobs or in our lives, like experience the ends more, feel more inspired by the ends while we're involved in all the minutia. And so three answers were offered that I think could be beneficial. One is to try to figure out, like, maybe sometimes we're involved in a lot of means that are not leading to any ends. Sometimes we're just doing unnecessary things at work or at our home or at school that are just unnecessary, and we feel bogged down by them, and they're not leading toward an end. So you have to assess if it really does lead to an end. But let's say it does. It's keeping you, it's helping you get towards the end, but you don't always taste the fruit while you're doing it. So one way to taste it a little bit more, like in the beginning of the Garden of Eden, is to take a break and realize your progress, how far you've come at each stage. Sometimes we don't give ourselves the space to do that. And you recognize your progress, you think about what you've done right, how far you've come. That'll enable you to see, I am moving toward my end. I can see the ends while I'm involved in the means. So that's another one. And then also sometimes just to think back to why you started everything that you're doing. Why did I start all this? I'm so far, I'm in over my head right now. I have so many papers to hand in, or I don't know, it's so busy at work. Why did I do this in the first place? Well, I started in my job because I wanted to support my family, and I love what I'm doing. So kind of like regenerate your passion, go back to the beginning, so you have more and more energy as you're involved in the means. So that's the ideal, to be able to be inspired by what we're doing. We have to be involved in the means, but to not forget the end and the fruit that we're working for.